Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I'm back with another process video for you, and this is a video for my Hey Little Magpie blog post this month. And this month I have challenged myself to use those 6x6 Project Life pads that I got, and I've also decided to do something a little bit different here, and I'm doing an 8.5 by 11 layout. I've seen a couple of people doing these recently and it gave me the idea to give it a try. I had two photos that I wanted to include in part of my album, so I thought I would go ahead and make two this size. For my background I am using the American Crafts wood grain, and this is the dark brown. I absolutely love this paper. The kind of big packs of this are actually on offer in the shop. So if you haven't already got it, do go and check it out because it is a complete and utter bargain. And I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of texture to the background, so I'm just using a little gift card here and my gesso just to run through this stencil mask, and this is a Tim Holtz one. It's one of my favourites, and so I'm just going to be just laying that down there, and I did mark out with a pencil where my photo is going to go. This is a larger sort of scale photo. Even though this is a smaller size, I decided I wanted the photo to take up quite a lot of that. This is just a flower mask, and I'm using the copper bronze distress stain, and I'm just pushing that through the stencil. It doesn't really kind of give the effect I want because that stain is very liquid, so it does go under, but it's just kind of creating a little bit of background texture. And as I said, you've already got the wood grain texture on this page as well. I'm just adding a little bit of coral and gold Heidi Swap colour shine, again a couple of my favourites. And so I just left that there to dry, and then as I've gone for a larger photo, what I've actually done is taken two 6x6 pieces out of this paper pad, which is the Adventure edition, and I have stuck them together and cut them down to make a photo mat. In the end, you can't really see much different, as I said, because I am going to add quite a bit of embellishment over it, so you're going to be able to kind of see that joint very, very kind of mildly. This again is another piece from that Adventure 6x6 pad, and I'd already used a little bit of that on making a card, so I just decided to just stick that down there, and I said you can't kind of see that bit that was missing anyway. This was just a scrap I had on my desk, and so I'm just using this to tuck behind, and I knew that I wanted to kind of add some embellishment on this layout, but I was limited by space, so I decided to add my embellishments on two parts, these sort of two top and bottom parts, so it's kind of a diagonal feel across this layout. And it was something that I did find quite difficult because there's limited space on this layout, so that's something I found a bit difficult. If I'd have done a smaller size photo, then I don't think it would have been so difficult, but I decided to not make things easy for myself. So again, I'm just using different bits of pieces of paper from this paper pad. It's a really nice muted paper pad, so it kind of went with this photo, which was kind of very kind of muted tones. It is the barn that we stayed in for a retreat, and this was the Hey Little Magpie retreat. I went to overload all of the girls on the design team, and so I wanted to just include this in that part of my album. And at this point I'm just going to kind of go a little bit embellishment crazy. These are a couple of cameo cuts that I've done, and these are just kind of like a swirly circle, and I just cut these out with some grey cardstock. I tend to if I have any space left on the sort of my cutting mat when I'm doing cuts, I'll just add a couple of other random shapes on there. I find that I don't like to do a whole cut of a 12x12 sheet and then leave a little bit left. So now I'm going to be looking through some embellishments, and I'm mainly going to be using ones from this craft market, and there's a lot of gold glitter tones in this, so I am going to be pulling those out to use here on this layout, and I'm going to be building cluster at the top and the bottom. And as I said, this is a real great embellishment pack. There was loads and loads in there as well, and I've already got some gold in the background, the metallic of that stain as well, so I knew that that was going to work well. This had kind of a slight gold border on, and it didn't matter so much that it had that kind of botanical feel to it, because I was just going to cover that up anyway. I did just mount my photo on an older scrap that was on my desk. I did use a little bit of tape down there. Again, that is from my stash, and that was actually a piece of Studio Calico tape. It's got loads of different sayings on, so I decided to just use that on the bottom there. And as you can see, as normal with my layouts, I do end up covering up most of that background anyway. I really like this embellishment pack, and I've got a real thing for embellishment packs at the moment, just because they make it so easy to layer and just to add lots and lots of different interesting embellishments. And this is, you know, a more of a muted layout for me, and as you'll see, there are some other layouts that I've made for this blog post that are really not muted, but that's kind of what drew me a little bit to the Adventure edition, is just those muted, quite florally, botanic kind of prints. They kind of just worked really well. So I decided for a change to kind of do that, and they work really, really well with the crepe paper as well, because crepe paper is very much muted tones. I've just got little bits and pieces here, and I'm kind of playing around at where I can tuck those. I love this little kind of leaf element, and again this came from the craft market, and it just adds a great little touch again, because I wanted kind of quite a natural sort of theme to this. I've decided, of course, I want to add a little bit more on top of this, so I'm just going through my flare tin here, and I'm trying to find a couple of different flares. And I do love my flare tin, because, you know, when I'm looking for it, I always end up finding something that I hadn't planned to add to my layout at all. And in this case, I actually end up pulling out a paperclip, and this is a little mushroom paperclip. Again, there's no mushrooms or anything in the photo, but it kind of went with that kind of natural botanical feel, so I am going to end up adding that as well. And it's one of the first times I've actually used a paperclip on a layout in a long time, and I actually really like the effect of it, so I need to make sure I do that more. Again, so I'm just going through, I'm actually then just going to pull that little camera out as well and just pop that down at the bottom. There is red sort of terracotta tones in that Adventure paper pad, and you can't really see it too well here, but there is red, so hopefully you'll be able to see that on the close-up photos. And that red camera there is just going to help pick that out. I'm just using my 3D foam to stick my flare down there. And again, I do like that, you know, these come sort of blank, and you can then just add your foam to your desired height. So I'm really happy with how this is going. I'm just then going to add again the craft market does have all the different months, and again with that little bit of gold glitter just picks that up fine. And I do find it's quite a nice gold. It's more of an antique gold than a really bright gold. So again, that works well with the browns and those sort of tones here. I have a few little hearts that I'd already cut out and were just hanging around on my desk, and these are using the lawn fawn die that I have. And again, they were just lying around on my desk, so I decided to use them up. And again, the black that those cut out again is a black wood grain, so again that picks up the wood grain in that background paper. And I'm just sprinkling those around where my flare is to kind of make a little cluster of 3. And I'm now going to be going through my thickers. Thickers are something that I am a little bit running short of, but I'm trying to use up what I have got. And these are kind of quite a neutral colour, so I'm going to be using those. And I'm just going to be putting down the title of the barn we stayed at, which was Bottomhouse Barn. And as I said, I'm going to be doing another 8.5 by 11 layout. And then there will be some project life pages and some more journaling as well within this section of my album. I decided, as there was a gap in the photo at the top there, that actually you weren't going to miss too much if I put the title over the photo. Again, I've just found these ones in my stash, and these are actually, again, Studio Calico ones, and these came in a kit I had last year sometime. And so they're actually kind of got a slight polka dot to them, a slight sheen to them even. The other ones are polka dot. And again, it just adds a little bit different texture because I've got the kind of wood grain and then the gold and the gesso, and then that nice kind of skinny, kind of shiny font. Looks really nice together. So this is quite a quick, simple layout, as I said. There's a lot of detail, but it's kind of focused just in 2 areas of the layout. And I really like how it looks, and I said it is something completely different for me, but I was inspired by that adventure pad. And actually, of all the pads that I got, the 6x6, that's actually the one I've used the most of. It's worked really well for doing backgrounds for cards as well. And as you guys know, I've kind of got into card making lately, so I said it is one that I've actually used the most. So I'm just going to fuss about here with my title, just getting it to work right with that embellishment cluster. And then that is going to be it for this layout. So I will leave the link down below for you to check out my blog post and see the other bits and pieces that I did. I made 5 projects in all with those Project Life pads, and you can see kind of my different styles within that. So here are some close-up photos, guys, and I will speak to you all again soon. Thank you very much. Bye!